Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We are on Love 99.5 FM. Affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are on A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Y in Wawi and Jatar FM in Karaga. Live on X Spaces, Facebook, myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Sol is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with the level indicator, and where Duraplus goes, water always flows. This afternoon, policy think tank Imani Center for Energy and Education and Professor Kwesiening filed suit at the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of the removal of the IGP and some members of the public services from office by the president. We have details of that also coming up.
The Greater Accra region next week is going to train constituency executive, train them how to use drones.
Electoral Commission raises security concerns over plans by the opposition NDC to deploy drones to monitor this year's elections. As it says, the plan is a potential breach of electoral secrecy of votes and won't be allowed.
The fact remains that polling stations are security zones. We want to ensure the secrecy of the ballot. So at the polling station where I am going to make my choice, I want to vote in that secrecy.
We have details plus here from John Dramani Mahama, who is promising to establish a committee to investigate Gadangbe and state-looted lands on his tour of the Greater Accra region. Also in sports, Ghana's Abeku Jackson secures bronze medal in the re-race men's 100 meters butterfly swimming final at the Africa Games despite finishing first in an earlier run. Sports Minister also describes ongoing 2023 Africa Games as spectacular in spite of growing concerns over poor organization of the continental event, which is recording lower patronage than expected.
Spectacular so far, game so far. So let us all embrace and come and position Ghana as the sports destination that we are all yearning to position.
I'll take you live to some of the gaming centres as gates open to the public free of charge at all venues for the Africa Games except for VIP tickets. And much later, the countdown is on and it's 4 days to the Joy FM Eastern Camp Adventure. Are you ready for the trip to Komfa Noche's hometown, the Jungle Party? What about the Jama Night?
We'll be going to the Cinema Waterfalls, we'll go to Ewukugwa, and then we will come to our campsite where all the fun is going to happen. You know, we have a mobile pool.
That and more coming up in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa. Apawu, this is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please do stay on for details. Many thanks for your company. Let's settle for the details now. And policy think tank Imani Center for Energy and Education and Professor Kwesiening have filed a suit at the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of the removal of some members of the public services, including the IGP and their security agencies as heads from office by the president. The two contend that such termination of the appointment of the IGP, the Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, the Chief Fire Officer, and the Director General of the Prison Service by the President are unconstitutional and should be declared as void. Head of our Legal Affairs Desk, Richard Kujonyako, has a copy of the writ and joins me in studio with more on what we are learning. So let's talk about the nature of the reliefs being sought by these two.
So, Emefa, the plaintiffs in this action, as you indicated, the Imani Center for Education and Policy, Professor Kwesiening, have invoked the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court that upon a true and proper interpretation of some provisions of the Constitution, the President has no authority to terminate or remove from office the GIS boss, the IGP, the Chief Fire Officer, and then the Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, unless only upon stated misconduct or misbehavior established against these office holders or incapacity to perform their functions of office by reason of infirmity of mind or body, death or retirement, and that the President of Ghana upon assumption of office has no power to make fresh appointment to such offices, that upon a change in government the succeeding President has no such powers to remove or terminate the appointment of such office holders. Their contention is that such office holders belong to the public services and want a consequential order from the Supreme Court to restrain the president from embarking on such an enterprise.
But the Constitution empowers the president to appoint such persons. So why are they challenging the constitutionality of the removal of same persons who were appointed by the president?
So the plaintiffs aver that although the Constitution and other relevant laws empower the president to appoint such office holders, there is a notable silence on the procedure for their removal or termination of the appointment, and presidents throughout the Fourth Republic have taken advantage of that to remove such persons. And they indicate that some have happened, or they want a declaration to halt any intentions by any president to do so.
But why now is the key question. What exactly is the indication? Who are they stopping from doing this?
Well, so they chronicle series of events that in August 2021, Mr. James Opon-Buenu, who was the then Inspector General of the Police, was asked to proceed on leave, and the current Inspector General of Police, Mr. George or Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, appointed in his stead. And they also chronicle that again on the 22nd of July 2019, the President of the Republic of Ghana demanded the then Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asantia Pietu, to proceed on leave despite not having attained the age of retirement. They also indicate the fact that Mr. Patrick Kwatiye champions removal from office when he was 58 years of age. And then they also mentioned that President John Dramani Mahama, the former president, on the 1st of February 2013, instructed the then Inspector General of Police, Mr. Paul Teriakwe, to proceed on leave, and the president consequently appointed Mr. Al Hassan Mohammed to act as the Inspector General of Police at the time when the said IGP was not due for retirement. So they chronicle other series in the Ghana Prison Service and then in the GIS as well.
Do we know when this case will be heard?
Well, so it's now been filed at the Supreme Court, and we are waiting to hear the case the day when the suit will be heard.
Interesting. I will be following that closely for you. That's the head of our legal affairs desk, Richard Kojonyako, there giving us details of that. You can read more of that story also on myjoyonline.com, and subsequently we'll bring you more reactions to this. Now let's focus on health. And about 91 hospitals, including major referral ones, risk disconnection from the national grid owing to an enormous 261 million Ghana cedis owed the ECG. According to information gathered by Joy News, the National Task Force will cut power 48 hours after receiving a notice. Among the prominent hospitals to be disconnected are the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the 37 Military Hospital, and the Ridge Hospital in the Greater Accra region. There's more also in the Ashanti region, and my colleague Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson, a member of the health desk, also joins me in studio with more on what we are learning. Let's talk about the hospitals that are included in this list.
So, Emefa, you know this move by the ECG has already affected institutions like Parliament, the Accra Sports Stadium, also the Accra Academy. This time around, they're zooming into the health facilities, and 8 regions are being spotlighted here. In the Greater Accra region, a total of about 66 million Ghana cedis, 643,680 cedis is supposed to be collected from various hospitals, including the 37 military hospitals, Police Hospital, Dodowa District Hospital, Pantan Hospital, Lekma Hospital, La General Hospital, University of Ghana Hospital, Achimota Hospital, Kwabenya Hospital, and all these hospitals have varying amounts between 33 million Ghana cedis to about 10 million Ghana cedis. Also in the Volta region, a total of about 15 million cedis, 163,000 is supposed to be collected, and we have the Kweve Government Hospital, Ho Municipal Hospital, Ho Teaching Hospital, Hohoi Municipal Hospital, Keta Municipal Hospital, Ketu South Hospital, Sogakope District Hospital, and Rara Government Hospital. Then we come to the Tema region, and an amount of 8,227,299 million Ghana cedis is supposed to be collected, and included in these hospitals are the Bato Hospital, General Hospital, Community 22, Hospital Pung Health Center, Municipal Health Hospital, Polyclinic in the Nungwa area. And you know that all these hospitals I'm mentioning are major hospitals, some even referral hospitals. And in the Accra West region, we have the Botiano Polyclinic, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, owns about 10 million Ghana cedis. In Sawam Hospital, Oduman Polyclinic Regional Hospital, who owns about 41 million Ghana cedis, 595,921. And then we move now to the central region, and we have the Ankaful Psychiatric Hospital, which owns 2,225,745 million cedis. Cape Coast Municipal Hospital, Central Regional Hospital, District Hospital, the Trauma Hospital, Winneba, and also Trifopraso New Government Hospital and Winneba Government Hospital. Then we come to the Eastern region, and an amount of 21 million Ghana cedis, 31,000 is supposed to be collected from the Ebrim District Hospital, the Asamankase Hospital, Begro Hospital, Ministry of Health Hospital, Kipi Government Hospital, Koforidua SDA Kwewu Government Hospital, and St. Dominic Hospital. And then we come to the Ashanti region, and Agogo Hospital, Konongo Hospital, Government Hospital, Kumewu District Hospital, Menshia Government Hospital, Mampong Maternity, Bekwai District Hospital. We have the Formina Government Hospital, Obuase Government Hospital, Atonsu, Bibieni, Konfanoche, SDA, St. Patrick Hospital, Suntreso, and then lastly the Western region, and an amount of 22 million Ghana cedis, 312,253 supposed to be collected from the region. And the hospitals that are owing includes Bogoso, Takrade, Takwa Government Hospital, Takwa Apinto Hospital, Wasadunkwa Hospital, Inswayem Hospital, Kwesimin Team Esikado, Elubo, and then Akwantumbra Hospital, Emefa.
91 hospitals, You've mentioned about 6 regions. I'm sure they'll be focusing 8 regions.
8 regions. Okay. And a total of about over 200 million
61
cedis.
million Ghana cedis. 261
is supposed to be collected by the electricity company of Ghana.
And I'm sure you had your favorite hospital in there, and they're owing the electricity company of Ghana, and they may risk a disconnection from the national grid owing to that enormous 261 million Ghana cedis owed the electricity company of Ghana. We'll stay a while longer on power issues, but you may be encountering outages in your area, especially at peak hours between 7 and 11 p.m. This, according to the Electricity Company of Ghana, may be as a result of blown fuses and broken conductors of its transformers due to increased demand. The ECG's Managing Director, Samuel Dubik Mahama, explained that 600 of their transformers scattered across the country are faulty and are being repaired.
I know the engineering team puts out these, these notices. If your customers are saying, if my customers are saying they didn't get them, then I'm sorry. But all maintenance schedules are put out there. I keep saying there is no do so, but everybody wants to stay with the fact that there's do so. If there's do so, that means there's a generational gap or there's a generational problem. But we keep repeating.
That's the Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Dubik Mahama there. Now, Deputy Health Minister Designate Alexander Kwesiakwa has this morning told Parliament's Appointment Committee that there's still public confidence in the National Health Insurance Scheme. The NHIS have come under scrutiny following several complaints by beneficiaries. Joining his ongoing series on the NHIS has confirmed some of these complaints of patients, including out-of-pocket payments for various services as health facilities. The matter came up strongly at the vetting of Deputy Minister Designate for Health, Alexander Kwesiakwa, but he insists that despite the challenges, there's high confidence in the NHIS.
We have to look at the funding of health insurance. The premium that we pay forms just about 3% of the total revenue generated. And now health insurance is battling with co-payments. It's a major issue. It's battling with co-payments. And one of the things that must be looked at is the fact that we have to get the providers, based mainly the private ones, to come to terms with the fact that if co-payment is the thing that must be done, we have to come clear and start the conversation.
My colleague James Aveji is there at the Appointments Committee sitting and joins us on the line. James, was the committee satisfied with his response?
Not at all, Emefa, because the committee members believe that the NHIS could have been doing more, especially government funding from government. There was the conversation about the tapping of the fund. MP4 Adakulu governs Kwame Agboja says the minister designate must advocate for decapping of the funding. This is what he's got to say.
One of this new position is the fact that I'm going to work with a minister who just stepped down as the NHIS boss. And so when it comes to the issues of NHIS, he feels it better, he understands it better. And so together, as we go and forge this team, it becomes easier for us to advise government properly so that our healthcare systems can be given that kind of attention. Thank you.
Well, James, we also know that the issue about the renal dialysis units of the various government hospitals came up. What exactly are the concerns?
Yes, Emefa, we've been running stories on the challenges of the dialysis renal unit in the various hospitals. The minister designates also believes that the health insurance scheme must be strengthened in order to take care of the dialysis treatment of patients. That way, the challenges can be faced.
That's my colleague James Aveji there giving us details. But James, who else is expected to appear before the committee?
4 other appointees, Honorable Kingsley Nyako, Deputy Minister Designate for Education, the Deputy Ministers Designate for Employment, as well as Lands and Natural Resources, are all expected to appear before the committee.
That's my colleague James Aveji there giving us updates from the Appointments Committee of Parliament. Let's get into the election headquarters now. And your election headquarters is made possible by Petrol Soy, your Cliff Oil in full quantity. Also brought to you by CIMA and AICPA together as the Associations of International Management Accountants. And this afternoon, the Electoral Commission is raising concerns over a leaked intention by the opposition NDC in the Greater Accra region to deploy drones in monitoring the upcoming general elections. According to the EC, it will be an invasion of voters' electoral privacy and breach of security protocols. Hence, it will not be allowed. Greater Accra chairman of the party, Ashimo, said it was part of efforts to win over 2 million votes for the party in this year's elections by strengthening the party's monitoring system to avert rigging. Mr. Moore adds that arrangements were far advanced to commence training of party members to control the equipment.
The Greater Accra region next week is going to train constituency executive, train them how to use drones to monitor what happens in our national chairman said the media is here, so I'll pause so that I need His Excellency. You're welcome to guitar.
You heard there Nia Shimoda speaking during flag bearer John Dramani Mahama's tour of the Greater Accra region. We can now listen to Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sribo Kweku, saying they've not been officially notified by the NDC, but allowing it will be in breach of security protocols and invasion of the secrecy of voters.
Polling stations are security zones, so they will have to apply to the security people for permission to be granted. They will have to apply to the Electoral Commission for a commission to grant. But my point is that how will you yourself, how comfortable will you feel that you are going to vote at the polling station and there's a drone hovering around you? How sure are you with respect to the secrecy of the ballot? Because I said that they have to apply. So at times they will say it, but if once it was at rally, they will not carry it through. But it will be difficult for the Electoral Commission or the police to approve people to be using drones at polling stations.
But why would they even want to deploy drones?
The fact remains that polling stations are security zones. We want to ensure the secrecy of the ballot. So at the polling station where I am going to make my choice, I want to vote in that secrecy. That is why even people, visually impaired people, have been given tactile jacket so that you know go and see who they are voting for. And I will never be comfortable going to the screen and a drone is hovering around me. Anyway, will you be comfortable?
That's the Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, the Dr. Sribo Kweku. Now, let's stay a while longer in the camp of the NDC because his flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, has made a promise to establish a commission of inquiry to investigate looted Gadangbe and state lands. Mr. Mahama is unhappy with the diversion of unused state lands to private individuals when the laws of the country state otherwise. Nanaya Ojima was at the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs where the former president made the promise. Here's his report.
Flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, who is worried about Galand issues, has revealed willingness to find lasting solutions to the problem.
The issue of Ghana lands is a very disturbing issue. It's a vexed issue, and it raises a lot of emotions. And so for the last time, when NDC comes into office, we're going to set up a commission of inquiry on Ghana lands to make recommendations on what government should do in respect of Gadangbe lands. And at the same time, it will also investigate looted state lands, because the chiefs and people of Ghana, Dangbe, gave land to government for specific projects. If government is using those the land for those projects, there's no problem. But where government is not going to use the land anymore for the purpose that it acquired the land, the rule is simple. It says give it back to the owners.
Issues of encroachment of regional boundaries were brought up by the traditional rulers. The former president finds this worrying, but assured the matter will be referred to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
That's my colleague Nanaya Ojima. He's still with the team as the NDC flag bearer wraps his campaign tour of the Greater Accra region today. Nanaya Ojima, what can you report?
So, a few moments ago, the flag bearer of the NDC completed a meeting with religious leaders in the Greater Accra region, and these pastors had the opportunity to put together their concerns and present to the flag bearer of the NDC. And John Mahama, in reaction, believes that it is about time that the country makes more from the mineral deposits in the country. And he is talking about renegotiating Minerals and Mining Act to help rake in more money so that it will cushion the economy. And this will help reduce the excessive taxation on local industries and businesses. Also, he is promising to rationalize the tax regime, sending a message to the present government to do away with some taxes instead of waiting for the vice president to take over power from the present president of the country.
That's my colleague Nanaya Ojima there, bringing us updates from the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama's Greater Accra Regional Tour. Election headquarters made possible by Petrosol and SIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, and then AICPA together as the Associations of Management Accountants. Taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Also made possible by Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank. Where Duraplast goes, water always flows. We return from the break with sports, where Ghana's Apawu Jackson secures bronze medal in a re-race men's 100-meter butterfly swimming final at the Africa Games, despite finishing first in an earlier run. I'll take you live to some of the gaming centres as gates open to the public free, and hear from the sports minister, who is describing the ongoing games as spectacular in spite of growing concerns over poor organisation.
Spectacular so far, game so far. So let us all embrace and come and position Ghana as the sports destination that we are all yearning to position.
And the countdown is on. It's just about 4 days to the Joy FM Eastern Camp Adventure. Are you ready for the trip to Comfort Anoche's hometown, the Jungle Party? How about the Jama Night?
We'll be going to the Asinema Waterfalls. We'll go to Ewukugwa, and then we will come to our campsite where all the fun is going to happen. You know, we have a mobile pool.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time for sports, and Ghana's swimmer Apawu Jackson won bronze in the men's 100-meter butterfly final at the ongoing African Games. The 23-year-old topped the re-race event but ended up picking up the bronze medal. Haruna Mubarak watched the race and explains.
The event, which initially came off on Monday night, faced disruptions due to noise from supporters that overshadowed the starting bell, causing confusion among the swimmers. Despite the race proceeding to completion, the decision to allow re-swimming on an optional basis was made, while Egypt's Nasser Abdallah and South Africa's Jayden Easton, the initial top finishers, opted out of the morning race. Jackson seized the opportunity to improve his time. Although he managed to win the race with a time of 53.80 seconds, it fell short of surpassing those set by Abdallah and Easton, thereby securing the bronze. This medal marks Ghana's second in swimming and fifth overall at the African Games.
Well, we can now hear from Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf. He's described the ongoing African Games as spectacular and whilst urging the media to focus on the positive narrative of the game. The local organising committee of the Games hosting sporting athletes from across Africa has come under intense criticism over a myriad of challenges ranging from power outages to lack of availability of sporting gears as well as poor publicity for that game that have characterised the game. We can hear from Mr. Yusuf.
Every one of them is applauding Ghana for a very spectacular game so far. So let us all embrace and come and position Ghana as the sports destination that we are all yearning to position. That is my appeal to the media. There are a lot of positives. That we can talk about, we can report about. Let's focus on them.
Well, my colleague Kenneth JC has been to some of the sporting centres and joins us on the line with more. Kenneth, what have you witnessed so far? Hello, Kenneth. Tell us about the games you've witnessed so far.
We've witnessed weightlifting. We've witnessed pickleball as well. One thing is very peculiar there. There are no spectators. The only people that can be seen there the officials and then the athletes from the different teams, and then the volunteers, who are making sure that all things are in order. And so, this event is lacking spectators both home and abroad. The athletes that have come from other countries tell me that they came alone, and that some had to, self-finance their journey to the country and all that.
That's my colleague Kenneth JC there giving us an update of what he's witnessed so far. Now, the Ashanti Business Owners Association is discontent at a supposed anti-smuggling operation by a joint task force of the National Security, Food and Drugs Authority, Tree Crops Development Authority and Customs. The task force stormed the Central Business District of Kumasi to seize vegetable cooking oil brands delivered or believed to be unlicensed and smuggled into the country. Emmanuel Bright-Koko has more.
The armed men moved from one retailing shop to another and seized products worth millions of Ghana cedis, including Global, Diana's, Special and Roach vegetable cooking oils. At least 4 brands were confiscated by the task force. The task force claimed to be executing the joint mandate of the Food and Drugs Authority, Customs Division, Tree Crops Development Authority, and the National Security. Dr. Paul Amenin is the coordinator of the task force.
Sa roach product no ye wo 2 brand ba ku free Malaysia ba ku su free Indonesia. Ni free Malaysia ni register, ni free Indonesia ni register, but e ni nyina the same brand.
You ought to be careful what you buy in the market. Now, the Joy FM Easter Camp Adventure clock is ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It's just 4 days to the event scheduled to take place on the 16th and 17th of March. Buying a ticket for 1,500 Ghana cedis guarantees you unforgettable memories. Among others, the adventure includes a trip to Komfanochi's hometown. There are cinema waterfalls, jungle party, Jama night with cocktail, barbecue, plus more. Well, Maxwell Ababa was at the campsite and our reports.
The Joy FM Eastern Camp Adventure promises to live up to its billing. The jungle party at the campsite with DJs on rotation is certainly going to be something like this.
Collaborate and listen. One
Picture yourself by the fat side with some barbecue and cocktails while engaging in storytelling sessions and games. And oh, there will be a Jama session plus more.
We are getting ready for the Joy FM Eastern Camp. Are you ready?
Yeah, we are ready. We are ready. 2 people are being cooked on Twitter today.
Yes.
They've been put in a big cooking pot.
Why are they being cooked?
Davy is staring. You know, our family. You know, Afenyo Markins for his comment on Professor Jena Opoku Ajuman. In Parliament yesterday. This one from Mepuri, he quotes what Afenyo Markin actually said. The same old incompetent Mahama with his over 70-year-old running mate not good for Ghana's future, unquote. And he says, Afenyo Markin seems to have forgotten that Akufo-Addo was sworn in as president at age 72 and has proven to be okay.
Yes, and Ochame Kwame is also trending. Now, he commented on a post made by KSM 2 weeks ago, and in that post, KSM was asking whether the female character on his show, Efia Servo, would be arrested when the LGBTQ law is passed. But people were wondering why it took Ochame Kwame 2 weeks to comment, and he says that imagine you have 3 adult children, 2 of them are thieves and the other is homosexual. Which one would you be more worried about? And oh my, Twitteratists are not giving any gap. Now someone says that anytime we think you've disappointed us enough, you do more than the last time. And this one says that which sin in Kwa will make God give you 3 problem children? Serious.
Guys, let's get out of here. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil